Tranquility, brought to you by Sahaj Mug.
Hello, welcome.
Welcome to Tranquility TV series.
Wow, the world has advanced so much. Space travel, organic farming, genetic engineering. So much humanity has advanced in the science.
That's true. The internet has connected us so well. There is not a single sphere that has not been touched. The other day, I wanted to cook some delicacy for my husband, and I went and checked online. There were hundreds of recipes there. I mean, it was amazing.
The other day I was wondering how fast-paced my life has become. I can't really cope up with time. And I felt I don't have enough time to do things that I think are important. Just running out of time.
According to a recent research in the UK, the overall pace of life has increased by 10% worldwide since the mid-90s. In some places, it has even increased by 20%. And in case of a few countries like Singapore, it has increased by a whopping 30% in the last decade and one half.
So much hush and mush. Why? I mean, what are we running after?
This is life. You have to do it for a living.
I mean, success is important. Winning is important.
It's a rat race, and I don't want to get lagged behind.
Though there is an important question to deliberate. What do we wish to achieve? Why are we doing what we are doing?
Having the resources to access the things which make me happy, like traveling places, playing golf, fancy cars.
I guess respect and recognition. I want people to appreciate me.
A convenient and comfortable life for myself, a happy one, and for others around me as well.
A good night's sleep and peace of mind is something we really all crave for.
I feel at the end of the day, at the bottom of it, we are really looking for our well-being and happiness. This is what we are striving for.
But are we heading in the right direction? How successful have we been in achieving happiness and well-being?
The marvels of modern technology has given us enormous comforts and many conveniences, but at the same time has created evils and miseries. We have polluted the atmosphere, poisoned the oceans and rivers, destroyed the forest, created wars and weapons of mass destruction.
In the last 100 years or so, however, human relationship with time has changed in a big way. Perhaps it started with the Industrial Revolution, the rise of machines. That put us in thrall to mechanical processes and machine time. The recent exponential speeding up into cyber time has accelerated the process further. Industrial time was bad enough, but cyber time can be worse, taking us totally out of touch with reality into the virtual space. Increasingly, many modern people feel completely lost and out of sync with their deepest selves. The results of this disconnection from nature and nature's pace show up in therapists and doctors' offices every day. Living under unnatural time pressures has been causing a myriad of psychological, social and physical ailments. Statistics suggest that major depressive disorder affects around 14.8 million American adults, or about 6.7% of the US population age 18 and older in a given year.
We are struggling to cope up with all the changes that we ourselves created in the nature and in the total environment and atmosphere around us.
That's very true. All the pleasantness within us arises from the silence, the peace that's there within us. All we have ended creating for ourselves is comfort and convenience, not necessarily peace and well-being.
I enjoy what I do, but am I really happy? Am I really peaceful? Sometimes I have flashes of it.
Of course money is important, but it's just not about that, right? At this moment, I'm struggling to get a good night's sleep, and I'm willing to pay any amount to change that.
It's okay for fears and insecurities to be part of life. They're part of everybody's life. But I guess it's not okay for them to be way of life. I would surely want to do something to improve my life.
Recently I lost someone very close to me. It doesn't matter who or how, but this person was my life. It has caused me a lot of sadness and almost empty feeling. But like I always say, once you're lost, it gives you more reason to find your way. Sometimes we don't take the most conventional paths, but as long as you're heading in the right direction, I reckon you'll be okay. I've started my journey and couldn't think of a better story to share. What is happiness? Great question, actually. It's possibly the greatest. The dictionary defines it as the state of being happy. But what is it? The answer seems as elusive as achieving it. We can tell whether or not we are happy. But what is it, and how do we achieve it?
As a child, my father always told me, that happiness lies within. I never truly understood it or comprehended it. As I grew up, I realized what he meant. I mean, true happiness really lies within. And it comes from a sense of inner peace and inner contentment. It is not at the mercy of an external circumstance or a situation, Happiness is more permanent. Even in a negative circumstance, I can be happy. I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm at office and the situation is not very pleasurable to me. I don't like the situation much. But if I am content and peaceful within me, I will be happy. So pleasure and happiness are two different things. Unfortunately, most of our lives, we tend to veer towards pleasure-seeking pursuits. And as there is a bipolarity, pleasure also gives rise to pain. So the object which gives me pleasure, when that object goes away, it gives pain to me.
You see, we have been asked to find the well-being and happiness, to dive deep to our inner universe, and there lie that peace and well-being.
That's very true. All the pleasantness within us arises from the silence. However, the question is, a disturbed mind, can it access this portal of silence within us?
In our mind, in our head, we're constantly trying hard to get everything which is surrounding us right. The marriage right, the job right, our relationship right, towards people, toward our kids, to our friends. 24 hours battle with our own selves. And this constant battles that we're trying to lead and entertain take us totally away from that inner silence that can actually help us to see the world in a different way.
I agree. Sometimes spending just 5 minutes with yourself is a struggle.
In the past, I did not like to be alone. I wanted always to have somebody with me. Eating alone or watching TV alone was not liked much by me. I filled up all these things by doing all the time something. I was always active. Now this has changed. With meditation, I like to be with my own self.
I really cannot think of doing anything at all. I need something to do always. Either watch the TV or read a book or chat with friends or surf the internet. Doing nothing is not really an option.
The outer chaos and disturbance and our indulgence with it has percolated inside our very being, which is hindering our ability to access the vast infinite portal of silence within us and the peace which results out of it. If we take out this disturbance, what remains is silence, which is a human being's fundamental nature. At a very fast pace, we are moving from the very essence which makes us human.
The mind remains in constant motion. It's never at rest. It produces waves and waves of endless thoughts. Gradually, it makes you believe that what it dictates is actual reality. And we are fooled by this. Then one fine day, you find out that what you thought was your personality is actually an inheritance from an untold number of beings, thoughts and action. And then you ask the question, how can this be me? It's the separation of the mind from the whole universe into a fragmented world that made the mind behave as the absolute ruler over your life.
Busy and chattering, that actually the inner silence disturbs that busy mind. And this silence makes it very uncomfortable.
That's why we are always looking out for avenues to keep the mind distracted. And you know, sadly, we become slaves to these avenues.
And we created ourselves.
Exactly.
Look at the technology as an example. We got totally dependent on it. And I would say even addicted to it. And that took most of our energy so far.
I agree. There is no doubt that technology has improved the quality of our life. But the question comes, are we using it wisely? Has it not, to some extent, made us deviate from our inner self?
According to a recent research survey from Global Web Index, an average online user spends more than 6 hours online, of which 1.72 hours per day are spent on the social media platforms. That is 28% of all online activity. A recent research done in the UK suggests that an average user picks up his smartphone more than 220 times a day. 4 out of 10 people have said that they feel lost without the smartphone. Many owners also confess to finding themselves using their phone without realizing they are doing so.
How many hours do I spend on the smartphone every day? I mean, there was a time when I was addicted to smartphone. At least 5 to 6 hours a day I was spending on my smartphone. I think with time it has reduced. Now I don't check it that much.
I get really agitated when my emails don't work, my mobile's not working, I'm not able to call anybody. And I just feel as though my whole life has been disconnected. I feel so lost when there is no connectivity on my phone.
I'm a lot concerned nowadays. I have a 4-year-old daughter and all I see is that she's always on the iPad. Well, during our times, we used to always play outdoor sports and have fun. But there is a bit of a challenge nowadays. The confusion is, should she only watch iPad and be apt with technology so then she can be always ahead along with the friends, or should she play outdoor sports? So there is a bit of confusion out there.
Actually, if you think about it, the technology is driving us, not us driving the technology. And you can see that technology totally transcended us into that illusionist, the virtual world that we totally cut up. Like this web net, like a spider net that we are totally hang on it.
Imagine 90% of the people waking up with their smartphones even before going to the toilet or having their cup of coffee. 2 hours a day on the social media.
2 hours of the social media? Yeah, I would say 6 years of somebody's life.
You know, the question that's bothering many people these days is not our dependence on technology, putting the doubt in us that on our own ability. We just seem to be totally dependent on technology, and even the simple things, we are not really able to do it. The question, you know, that's bothering many people these days is that our dependence on the technology is so much that we rely on it completely, and we are unable at times to do even the simple things.
Ever since very long, I have been using MS Excel and calculators. So the ability to perform simple calculations has diminished over time. As a child, I was very capable of doing so. However, now I can't even do a simple subtraction. So I'm very embarrassed.
The cell phone memory is huge. Till you pointed it out, I never realized. I don't recollect my husband's cell number. But as a child, I was able to memorize most of the numbers by heart.
That's right. See, 20 years ago, not only I was younger, but I would say that most of the number of the people were close to me. I knew them by heart. Today you ask me, call your daughter. I have to search on my phone to find a number. Or the same with GPS. When you drive a car, you exactly knew when left, when right, when straight. Now we're so dependent on that machine. And even if we know that we don't have to go right, that GPS tells you go right and you do that. That's dependency.
No doubt, social media has great benefits. You know, it has helped us connect and stay connected with our friends whom we might have not met for a long time or who are in different part of the world. So we stay connected. But somewhere comes the thing, are we, you know, using it to scream for attention?
To be honest, we all have this desire, deep-rooted desire to seek recognition. And actually, social media is a perfect ground to give us that opportunity to be able to manifest that.
Wanting to feel special is a sickness, and it's taking a huge toll on all of us. We are aware of it. We recognize it. But still we are okay with it.
You're so trapped, enslaved in it, that you're really missing out on the most simplest and natural thing in our lives. I was actually thinking, when was the last time I enjoyed, you know, that breeze touching my face, getting, you know, those rain, you know, when you get wet and enjoy, hearing the birds chanting, and just be there in that moment, having a chat with a friend. I can't recall that.
What happens during meditation is that by shifting your consciousness from the mind to the heart, you gradually bring the mind into silence, into a thoughtless state. Some call it the state of no mind. The body remaining still, you gradually start to neutralize the senses. At that stage, you start to reconnect with your soul, with your inner being. Thus, you become slowly able even to move into higher dimensions. Because real meditation happens when your mind is silenced, when you can transcend the thoughts, you transcend the mind, you transcend the ego, you transcend the personality. I mean, it is real science, really interesting.
Increase in divorce rates, unhealthy relationship between children and parents, and so many, counseling sessions. You hear so many nowadays, onto antidepressants. Maybe all this is a testimony that we are struggling to keep an inner balance with ourselves.
And the inner joy.
Yeah.
I feel I'm never in the present fully. I'm always thinking about my future. I'm never with, even when I'm with my dear ones, I don't listen to them.
I just feel guilty. I mean, every time it's like I'm living in the past. I keep thinking about old memories, clinging on to them, not living in my present, especially with my family members. The worst behavior comes with them.
See, friends and families, ideally we should be sharing our sorrows and happiness with them. We are meant to care for each other, love each other, and should be concerned for each other's genuine welfare. Unfortunately, that is not happening nowadays, I see. When we are with our friends and families, we always tend to compare ourselves with them. I mean, in fact, they have become a barometer to gauge our success on the material front, isn't it? We always compare how my friend is doing materially, what job is he doing, how much is he earning, what am I earning. So, will it not breed qualities of jealousy, envy, competitiveness, as opposed to breeding, feelings of joy, care, love for each other? I mean, how on earth can I have love for my friend or a family member when I'm trying to compete with him? We do spend time with our family and friends, but is it really a quality time? I mean, quality time is something which I believe is genuinely for the other person's welfare, listening to the other person, sharing your happiness and joy with him, sharing your pain with him. I don't think we do that, because we are so much in our mind in the future, solving problems, competing with others, competing with the friends and family with whom we are. I don't think it's happening nowadays.
I contemplated about this about a few months ago. I realized that I was spending too much time and energies anticipating and solving problems which don't even exist.
We are not happy with ourselves. Then what did happen? We reflect. People surrounding us are not happy. We create for ourselves the pain, unnecessary pain. And that pain again reflect and bring that pain for the others. Isn't it?
Self-help books, counseling sessions, retreat centers, they all help, no doubt about that. But it is only temporary. And what we require is something permanent.
To achieve that permanent state, we need very simple and practical tools. A very natural way to be able to access to that inner joy, to our inner self, and inner balance with ourselves. In coming episodes, we will be introducing you all these tools. Till then, stay tuned.
In the next episode, we shall be speaking about the mind. Why does it behave the way it does? After all these problems are because of the functioning of the monkey mind.
Monkey mind. Monkey mind.
See you all next week, same day, same time.
Thank you.
Lies within us.
I know that it is always good to stay in the present.
Our mind, which is an excellent instrument.
I have nobody saying it.
Tranquility, brought to you by Sahaj Mug.